Another invisible mass shooting, unreported, completely ignored, swept under the rug, as it were. But this time it's a little bit different. We now have a way to blame Trump. Guys, this one is going to make your jaw drop a little bit because, of course, no one can know about this one because it does not fit the magical word narrative. But we're going to expose it right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. And, of course, if you want to make that gun-controlling, purple-haired, septum ring-wearing, gun control notification Nazi, you want to cause them pain, just hit that subscribe button, like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. Notifications on. We're just going to jump right over here because we are back in studio and it is freaking on. All right. Everything's available at Braden LOA on X. And people, we have got to talk about the mass shooting that you've never heard of yet again. It always amazes me how quickly Giffords.org and the media and the gun controllers at large will run out and they will stand on any tragedy very, very quickly if it fits their narrative. But if it doesn't fit that narrative, all of a sudden, it doesn't really matter. Let's walk through a little report that we have coming out of Chicago. That word should sound very familiar because it's also tied in with a little bit of a Trump vibe. This whole thing. Let's get it. Let me zoom in here because that was the feedback that I have gotten, that you guys want the videos a little bit bigger. I'm always about that audience. Let's get it. Go.
There appeared to have been some kind of large gathering overnight. Chicago police confirming that 5 people were shot near 36th Street and Cottage Grove. Officers responded to the area around 1 o'clock last night, 1 o'clock this morning, I should say. Police say while they were on scene, officers heard gunshots and moved to the area of gunfire. That's where officers, they say they found multiple victims, and several ambulances and paramedics were called to help those who were shot. The victims' ages range from 17 to 36 years old, and we're told the 17-year-old is in critical condition.
Come here. What event and typical organization would be involved with multiple gunshots, multiple different ages in a gun control zone, 17 to 36? What are some symptomatic descriptors that could apply to? Maybe that's why they're not talking about it in the media. But maybe there's more. There is. Watch this. Let's get it. Let me put you back over there because the audio decided to have an aneurysm.
Citizen app video from the scene shows a large police presence near Ellis Park as Chicago police investigated. Police say that there were 4 guns that were found in the area, and a person of interest was also taken in for questioning.
Come here again. All right. Questions abound. I'm sure you guys cannot figure out what this is alluding to. So let's just go the high level again. For some reason, the media didn't make a full-on push on this nationally, and you didn't hear anything from Giffords.org or Everytown for Gun Safety or March for Our Lives, any of the gun control groups. It's weird because, let's see, 5 victims, that'd be a mass shooting. In Chicago, a gun control zone, you got 4 different guns, multiple assailants, multiple wounded, ages 17 to 36, and someone was detained as a person of interest. I wonder what that could be. It rhymes with schmangs. But you can't talk about that because that doesn't fit the narrative to take your rights. You sitting out there, there's no argument against you. They can't blame this on you because all the different markers are there for gun control to prevent this. But for some reason it doesn't. That's why I term these things invisible mass shootings, because poof, they just don't exist because they don't support the narrative. But now there's a new narrative, little cherry on top on this one, because after all, what I just showed you, it's Trump's fault. Yep. Trump's fault. Again, this is in Chicago. Let's get over to the one of the main leaders here. They call them alders, or aldermen, which is a very interesting term. I've always found it weird. Let's see what CNN has uncovered and how this can be prevented and how it's Trump's fault. Listen, remember, all guns, any gun owner, every tragedy is your fault. Every single one of them.
How do you respond to the argument that there were something like 50 plus shootings, 52 people, I should say, were shot in Chicago, 30 different shootings over the holiday weekend, 7 people killed. Aren't numbers like that still a problem that your city needs to address? What more can be done to address that?
Well, I think that what we need to do is that we also had a mass shooting in a Catholic school. We also have had many instances where the administration has really escalated, exacerbated the violence in our country, in our cities. Trump is a dictator. I think we got to be very clear. He's trying to normalize violence. He's trying to normalize military deployment in American cities like LA, DC, Chicago, and many others to come. But what we have not seen is really a systemic investment that will actually address the core issues. I had shootings in my ward. One of them was a tragic shooting of an unhoused neighbor. So the Trump administration is saying that they're going to address the issue of unhoused residents by putting them in jails, in concentration camps.
Jailed, concentration camps, and unhoused neighbors. This guy clearly did not get the memo that says you can't use that word anymore because it's stupid. Okay, guys, this is a hell of an opener for the week. Alderman, why have there been 30 different shootings with 7 different dead people with multiple mass shootings in Chicago in the past weekend in a gun control state and city? Why is that possible? Well, it's very clear. Trump is going after a dictatorship by being very mean to our unhoused neighbors, and after all, he hasn't given us money to avoid arresting people. Nope, you're awake. This is really happening. All right, so that's the genius that's coming out. Even the guy on CNN's looking at him like, well, that's different. Let's keep on going. Let's see if there's something else that we can find. Because if you're starting to lose Morning Joe, as in Joe Scarborough, on crime in Chicago, you're doing it wrong, lefties. But make sure you keep on saying unhoused neighbors so you don't offend anybody. Oh, wait until the offense part comes in a second. All right, take it away, Joe. Enlighten me. Bring me into the world of the left.
Concern is you have leaders in Chicago that see this. As you say, we've been reading about this for years now. Every weekend, and maybe crime has gone down. But, we had the mayor of Chicago on last week saying, we don't need any more police officers. Police officers aren't the answer. No police officers. I think he said no 5 times. You look what's happening this weekend. You look so, I actually think that J.B. Pritzker should do something radical. I think he should pick up the phone, call the president, and say, and I know, you don't have the constitutional authority to deploy the National Guard here and to police my you can do that in D.C., you can't do that in Chicago. But let's partner up. These are the most dangerous parts of my state. We would love to figure out how to have a partnership that's constitutional, that respects the sort of balance of federalism between the federal government and the state government. And let's work together to save lives. Because right now, just hey, nothing to see here moving along. No problem here. Hey, Donald Trump, we don't need you. And, the mayor talking about we're going to protect people's dignity in our city. We'll protect their lives. That's
when you've lost Joe frickin' Scarborough, on your approach to we're not going to do more policing, we're not going to do anything, and then you're attacking Trump as a dictator while there's mass shootings that you're completely ignoring, but then you're drawing attention back to other issues that are happening in different states, but you're ignoring the one that you're actually in, you're a shitbag. Sorry, you just are. Because this is about control. This is about anything for control. Because if it was truly about the lives of which they claim to be about, they would not be ignoring the issues in these zones because it would be objectively about the issue itself. It would be about saving lives universally, whether they're in gun control zones or they're not in gun control zones. But that's not it. You got to ignore the ones in gun control because those don't matter. And you got to focus on the ones that have better narrative optics. Guys, this is why I fight so hard every single day, 2, 3, 4 videos a day through different medium, multiple different channels, because these people they're just bad people. That's what I've got. I thought that was something you guys would need to see. So let me know what you guys think in this episode, and I will see you on the next one. Of course, I'm Braden. See you later.